Hello, guys. Welcome back to Chogdi Football TV. Back with another one on Chogdi Football TV. So, this might be a late reaction, but it has to be done either way. So, without any further ado, I want to talk about the Champions League games that took place last last night. So, very very interesting games. I'm going to start with the Galatasaray versus Liverpool game. Now, I think I made a reaction for this a pre-game post a pre-game reaction for or analysis of these games, right? So, which I focused on the Galatasaray versus Liverpool and the Manchester. I said Manchester and the Newcastle versus Barcelona game. However, in this video, I want to make a summary of all the Champions League matches that happened yesterday. So, with the Galatasaray and Liverpool game. I know I made a prediction on the game, which I can't even remember, but I felt like I thought, yeah, I think I said Liverpool was going to win 2-0, but Liverpool lost. They lost 1-0. And it was a very end to end game, very end to end game, very fast paced game, quick game. And that is one thing that Galatasaray are known for. They apply pressure. They are very good going forward, but surprisingly, they were very good in defense. Albeit Liverpool had some chances that they failed to take. I remember in the some parts in the game. I think it was it the second half, if I'm not mistaken. Ekitike had a one-on-one, and I don't know what rubbish he was trying to do. He had he had space. He could have placed the ball either on the left or the right hand side. I don't know what this guy was trying to do, but he missed. And Liverpool also scored. They also scored a goal from a corner kick, but it was ruled out as a handball. So Liverpool had chances as well, and even Galatasaray had chances as well. They scored a goal. Osimhen scored, but it was ruled off. So it was a very Galatasaray really played Liverpool's game. They dominated Liverpool. They dominated that midfield, over Liverpool, and they ended up winning the game 1-0 with a goal from Lamina. And so Galatasaray will be going into the second leg with an advantage going to Anfield. And as we all know it, especially this season, Anfield is not that fortress that we once thought it was. Anfield is not a fortress anymore. Anything can happen there. So that's with that. Now the second game was Atalanta versus Bayern Munich. Bayern absolutely destroyed Atalanta. Like, I don't think there's any need for a second leg to be played. That game is over and done because Atalanta is not going to go to the Allianz Arena and do anything. Let's even assume that Atalanta even win that game. They're definitely not going to score. They're not going to dominate Bayern. They're not going to, go there and beat Bayern 7-0 or something like. It's not going to happen. In fact, in that game, Bayern doesn't even need to play their first team. I think they can play their second team and just add a little sprinkle of first team players, and they are good to go. So that game, in my opinion, is over and done. The third game was the Atletico Madrid Tottenham. Tottenham are in shambles. Right now, they are in shambles. They Tottenham, and I'm not a Tottenham fan, right? I am not a Tottenham fan. However, I really feel sorry for them. I really, 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 really feel sorry for them because watching these guys and how right now they are battling relegation, not battling relegation, but they are in a relegation charge, and compared to teams like West Ham, Nottingham Forest, those one of those teams look like they are going to survive. But Tottenham cannot string a win together at this time. At this point, I don't know where Tottenham is going to get their next win because they are playing with their heads down. And it's not only on the pitch, but you can tell psychologically, morally, these guys are done. They're out of it. From the board to the players, there's a lack of confidence, and they crumble. They are all scared, and I feel like a lot of their players have signed out already, because a lot of their players know that if they are to go down to the championship, other teams will buy them in the summer. A lot of them know that they will still get a move away from Tottenham. So they it seems like they are not worried. It seems like they are not worried. And Tottenham's coach Igor Tudor, he seems like he doesn't know what he's doing. It seems like he's out of his depth. Look at the rubbish squad this guy went to go and field yesterday. This man does not know what he's doing. And I don't know, man. I just think at this point Tottenham should just focus on the Premier League, and they should just focus on trying to survive, because the Champions League is done. They lost to Atletico Madrid 5-2 by like the 23rd minute. Atletico Madrid were already up like 4-0 already. You know, um, absolute disastrous performance by Kingsley, um, Tottenham's second choice goalkeeper, who, in my opinion, his career is probably finished by this stupid performance he gave yesterday. Look at this guy. Look at the nonsense this guy was doing in goal. The absolute rubbish this guy was doing in goal. He had to be substituted in the 16th minute. I can't remember the last time I saw a keeper being substituted without being injured. It's clear to see that this guy will probably never play for Tottenham again, at least in a competitive game. It's probably over for him, and it's sad to see. But yeah, Atletico Madrid absolutely smashed Tottenham to smithereens, and it's over. Tottenham Tottenham are not going to beat Atletico Madrid at their stadium. And even if they beat Atletico Madrid, let's even assume they beat Atletico Madrid, they are not going to outscore. They are not going to score good. Score 6 or 7 or 4. It's not. I don't see it happening. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So that is that with that. Tottenham, they should just focus on the Premier League and focus on keeping themselves, in the league to fight another day. Because at this point, it looks like they are relegation bound. Then the last and final match, the one I actually watched, which is the Newcastle and Barcelona game. I also made a prediction on that game. I said Barcelona was going to win that game 2-0, and it did not happen like that. Newcastle absolutely played Barcelona. They played Barcelona. They dominated Barcelona in certain points of during the game. They defended better than Barcelona. They pressed better than Barcelona. They had Barcelona on ropes. Barcelona had nothing to. Barcelona couldn't handle Newcastle's two wingers, and that is what I said. I said that if Newcastle had any chance on this game, obviously it will depend on their midfield, but also their wingers. In my opinion, Newcastle only drew that game because they cannot finish. They cannot finish. They have two wingers that are just speed merchants, but absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Harvey Barnes is useless. Um, what's his name? The other guy is useless as well. They're just, in my opinion, speed. Like I said, speed merchants. Harvey Barnes and Elanga. These guys, their decision making on the ball is absolutely horrendous, and that is something that Newcastle have been suffering a lot from this season. They cannot finish, and the only striker that can finish, uh, isn't even really doing anything at the moment. Their main striker is not doing anything at the moment. Volta made. He's not doing anything at the moment. He's not performing well. He did not even start yesterday. Anthony Gordon didn't start yesterday because that one also is another speed merchant that is useless when it comes to finishing. So, in my opinion, that is the only reason why they drew that game, because they fielded three useless forwards that can only run, but when it comes to decision making in the final third, These guys are League One level, absolutely useless, absolutely useless. Harvey Barnes, that guy is as useless as it gets. So but they played, they did play outplay Barcelona. I have to give a big shout out to um let me see. I have to give a big shout out to Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall was incredible yesterday. Incredible yesterday. Totally outmarked Lamine Yamal. Totally out. And listen, I'll keep on saying this. When Lamine Yamal faces like guys that are as athletic and aggressive, this guy cannot do anything. It happened with Nuno Mendes. It happened with Cucurella. It happened with Kekeres. With Carrares, I mean, of Real Madrid. It happened with with Luis Hall. When it's against Osasuna, when it's against all these Bodo Glimt, all these type of clubs, or when it's against Sparta Moscow, when it's against um I don't know, Villarreal, Real Sociedad. But when it's against these guys that can match you aura for aura, speed for speed, energy for energy, Baba no they do anything. This guy doesn't do nothing. Nothing. And it's unfortunate that um, one mistake cost one mistake by Thor, if that is how his name is pronounced, the center back of Newcastle, one mistake in the dying minutes cost them a point. And now they have drawn in Newcastle's home, and now they are going to Camp Nou for the second leg. Camp Nou is not an easy place. It's not an easy place to play. Now, I'm not saying they're going to lose there, but you can be rest assured that Barcelona will come out to play. They will come and they will turn it up a notch. They will turn it up a notch. Another player that had a very good game was Pedri. Pedri had a very good game in that midfield. However, he was constantly battered by the likes of Joe Linton. Joe Linton was just using them as like rag dolls. Tonali was just bullying them. Ramsey as well. They out midfield. They out midfield Barcelona yesterday. Pedri really played well, man. That guy is a baller. Pedri balled, but if Newcastle, like I said, if they had like a proper finisher, maybe if Isak was still there, this game would have been another story. And I feel like in the second leg, they need to start Murphy. They need to start Murphy. And that's right wing. Newcastle need to start Murphy because Elanga is just useless. They need to start instead of what's his name? What's the dude's name? Instead of Harvey Barnes, they need to start Anthony Gordon. Even if that one too is useless, but they need to start Anthony Gordon because Harvey Barnes is, man, that guy is ass. That guy is ass. So yeah, I just feel like Newcastle had the chance to take to leave with an advantage going into the second leg, but this is what happens to you when you don't have forwards that can finish. You can create all the opportunities in the world, but if you don't have strikers that can convert, what is the use? What is the use? And they also started with Osula. That one was just a bunch of wrong decisions boiled into one. Just plain absolutely rubbish. Absolutely nonsense. But yeah, that's about it really, man. And that's the wrap up for the games yesterday. For the Champions League matches yesterday. Four games in total. Galatasaray winning 1-0. Atalanta, Bayern Munich winning 6-1. Atletico winning 5-2, and Newcastle, Barcelona, scores match ending in a draw, 1-1 in a 1-1 draw. So that's about it. So tonight is another another set of matches in the Champions League. The first game will be Bayern Leverkusen versus Arsenal, Sporting Lisbon versus Bodo Glimt, Paris Saint Germain versus Chelsea, and Real Madrid versus Manchester City. So just keep it locked on this channel. Please like the video, comment, subscribe, and just look out for my post-match reaction on those games. I don't think I'll be doing a pre-game reaction, but just look forward to my post-match reaction on those games. And thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.